So, welcome to the preview show then for day 2 of week 4. Unfortunately, we didn't get time to get a show out last week and chat with Stu or Doug this week due to all sorts of things going on. So, it's just a short show today. We've got some hot horses coming up with Stu later on. And first of all, let's have a look at the history of some of tonight's races. Time for another little look in the history books and a look at the history of one or two of the races we've got coming up later tonight. And the first one we're going to take a look at is over on the flat. It's the big Derby trial, the Dante Stakes. This race is named after the Derby winner of 1945, Dante. Derby was run at Newmarket in 1945, the last year of the war, of course, where they held the Derby throughout the war years. The race was introduced in 1971, surprisingly, as it is regarded as the biggest Derby trial. It's only actually produced 10 Derby winners. The first one of those was St Paddy in 1960, and the most recent one was Golden Horn in 2015. Just looking down the list at some of the others, Shirley Heights in 78 was a winner, 86, Sharastani 87, Reference Point, I think Erhab in 1994 as well, Benny the Dip was another one. So rather surprising then the amount of Derby winners that the race has actually thrown up. I would have thought it was more than that. The top jockey, Pat Eddery, top jockey in the 70s, 80s and 90s, really, wasn't he? Beldale Flutter in 81, Hot Touch in 83, Damister 85, Red Glow 88, I think that went off favourite for the Derby if I remember rightly, Sanglamore in 1990, Temby in 93, and the leading trainer Henry Cecil with 7 wins, the first one of which was Approval in 1970, then Liffard's Wish in 79, Hello Gorgeous in 1980, Simply Great in 82, Claude Monet in 84, Reference Point, who went on to take the Derby in 87, and Tenby in 1993. So be interesting to see if anything comes out of the Dante Stakes today and wins the Derby next week. So, just a quick look at a couple of races over on the National Hunt card then in Ireland tonight. We've got a Grade 1, that's the Hatton's Grace Hurdle. That's named after Hatton's Grace, that won the Champion Hurdle in 1949, I think it was, yeah, 49, 50 and 51. First 2 years ridden by the magnificently named Albury Brabazon, and the final year by Tim Maloney, trained by Vincent O'Brien, and the days when he was a jump trainer before he switched over to the flat and had all those great successes with Lester Piggott and Robert Sangster and co. So that's the Hatton's Grace Hurdle, and so now you know why that's called the Hatton's Grace Hurdle. The other race to look at over on the jumps card is the Mackeson Gold Cup. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, Mackeson Gold Cup, don't remember that. Well, it doesn't exist anymore, that's why, but it's now called the Bet Victor Gold Cup, and it was been called the Paddy Power Gold Cup before that, but it always used to be called the Mackeson. When it started in 1960, sponsored by Mackeson, and they carried on sponsoring it right through to 1995, and it was always one of the first really big jump handicaps of the season, really signified that the jump season was now in full swing, and that has been won by some wonderful horses in the past, and quite a few of you not quite as old as me probably won't remember a few of the first ones, but Gay Trip won it in 1969 and 71, and of course won the Grand National in the year in between, 1970, which gave a lot of sort of kudos, if you like, to that theory that a 2.5 mile horse was what you needed to win the Grand National in those days, because this of course is a 2.5 mile race, and Gay Trip won the Grand National in between his 2 victories in this particular race. Man Alive was an interesting winner in 1979 as well, and I say that's an interesting winner because Graham Clutterbuck had a horse called Man Alive last season who was a chaser and wasn't grey, the same as the real Man Alive, and this year we've got another Man Alive on the flat who isn't grey. I don't know whether that's been named after that horse or whether that's just a coincidence. $50 More was another famous winner in 1982, Half Free won it twice in 84 and 85, Very Promising was another good winner in 86, and Bow Ranger in 87. I'm pretty sure we've got a Bow Ranger running at the moment. I know John Morgan likes to name a lot of his horses after famous old horses from the past. Bradbury Star won it twice as well in 93 and 94. Cypher Malta, another good winner for Tony McCoy in 1998, and Fonmort won it in 2003. Celestial Gold in 2004, and Imperial Commander in 2008. So you can see some pretty good horses have won this, and some pretty good trainers have taken it as well, and jockeys as well. So Tony McCoy's won it 4 times. Cypher Malta, Lady Cricket, Shooting Light and Exotic Dancer, and Martin Pipe has 8 winners to his name. Bow Ranger, Chandelier Lac, Cypher Malta, Lady Cricket, Shooting Light, Celestial Gold and Arvic. So the Mackeson Gold Cup then given its original name by Gray, which is a really good thing to do, and I hope we'll be doing the same thing with the Whitbread Gold Cup later in the season.
Welcome to Horses. Well, I'm going to start with the interesting old Rowan Group 2 handicap chase over at Aintree. I think it was race 4 on your cards. This was actually won by Shifting Alliance from the Invisible Horse in A State of Madness. These two ended up being 4 1/4, 5 lengths ahead of the rest of the field and looked quite good. But I mean, Shifting Alliance was 4 to 5 lengths down. Just approaching the last, we come across the big screen and A State of Madness disappears. But that allowed Shifting Alliance to get back up and just take the win by 1/4 of a length. I mean, A State of Madness had a pillar to post win the previous week over 2 mile 4 furlongs in the Bet365 handicap chase, so was looking really probably to make it 2 out of 2. Paul Rhodes' Shifting Alliance, that had previously run in the United House Gold Cup week before over 2 mile 5 and finished 6, nothing really surprising. So to come back here and take the old Roan over Group 2 handicap was quite impressive. Heads towards the Mackerson Gold Cup this week. Won't be top weight, looking at the race card, which will definitely give him another chance. In A State of Madness, doesn't appear to be as I speak appeared to be entered into anywhere, so it may well get entered a little bit later in the day, as we've got a few hours still to go before the finalisation of nominations. My second race on the hunt was the Florida Pearl Novices. This was over at Punchestown, over 2 mile 6 furlongs. This was actually won by Taunton Bridge Girl for Jim Murray. Won it by 4 1/4 lengths, won it fairly comfortable. It wasn't a really high quality field. I suppose the only other big trainer in the field was Leon's Brand the Builder, but that was a faller. But Taunton Bridge Girl had run well. It's only its second run over a 2 mile 4 maiden. It had actually just run out of steam, so faded over that. Then obviously dropped a couple of furlongs in distance. Comes back, wins this comfortably. Was quite an interesting race. It was 3 furlongs out and it was in last place, but it came from nowhere. Taunton Bridge Girl and took that. Entered in the 3 mile 1 Badger Owls handicap this week. To be truthful, I think another 3 furlongs may just be a little bit too far for it in my opinion, so I'm not giving that the kiss of stew. So you're lucky there, Jim. The second place horse of that was Okamar Turquoise, off quite a low weight for Darren Thompson. It was his third run. It had come 4th in its maiden over 3 miles. Then it's the week before last, a poor showing and come 14th over 3 mile 1 furlongs. Doesn't have an entry this week, so let's see where that will go. Okay, moving on to the flat. I think the one we're going to pick out is the 2,000 Guineas, which was a dead heat in the end for 2 of the top trainers we have in the league, with Paul Rhodes and Thunderspark. Quite an exciting race. A lot of speculation over whether there was the Frankel style Hans' horse were going to try and take it off at a pace, because we had a few queries over the 1,000 Guineas the day before. But it didn't, and the race kind of transpired to about a furlong out. It looked like Finjet of Paul Rose's, I don't know if it's his first string or second string, was leading, and then within a furlong, Asconite for Thunderspark took the lead. Looked like he was going to take this, and then Cape Thorn, probably from 5-6 lengths down, just came out of nowhere. Really, really good run. I'm not sure which one Paul thinks is his first string or his second string. I mean, Finjet was coming off a win in a second, must have been hopeful that he was going to place well. Ended up being third, which is first, second and third. He's going downhill, Finjet, so may well end up 4th this week. But Cape Thorn doing it in reverse, coming 2nd, 4th and 1st. Cape Thorn goes to the Irish 2,000 Guineas this week. Obviously must have a chance. I'm not too sure if Thunderspark's horse, or in fact where Thunderspark's horse is going this week as Canite. I'll have a quick look. Hasn't got an entry, although Thunderspark is a bit notorious for week in, week out, which is handy for a lot of the other trainers, because if he's there every week, it's no fun. No, only kidding. So the 2,000 Guineas dead heat. I mean, you can't beat better than that. A bit of sharing, obviously the Group 1. Cape Thorn, I really do believe, is a remarkable horse, and I'm sure Paul has trained it really well. Asconite had obviously been had run in a maiden in week 1, got injured, got pulled up, finished distressed, had a 2-week break, and then comes back and almost gets the 2,000 guineas. But quite a remarkable race, that one, and I'm sure everybody really did enjoy it. And the second race I'm going to cover is the Early Bird Nursery, which was race 28, which was actually won by Tim Sandeman with Oh Call Me Blue. I'm sure everybody remembers the commentary. You can't beat it. He's first winner of the league. Been around for a while, Tim. Got a fairly small stable. Actually managed to beat a Paul Rhodes horse. So even with the win, you've got to be happy that you've managed to beat one of the champion trainers' horse. Won by a length and a half. Actually came out of nowhere. I mean, 4 furlongs out, it was in 17th or 18th place, and then made 7.5 lengths down, and it came out of nowhere to win it. Well done, Tim. I mean, it's a good horse. I think it's only been put up £8, and he heads off to, I think, the 0 to 90 this week, the Thunderspark Nursery. Going over onto the dirt, so coming from South Africa, probably, and may well be better, but also stepping up in 2 furlongs in distance, so maybe just to play around with its handicap there, drop back down again, drop back down to the 6 furlongs. Looks like a 7 furlong horse to me. I think 8 might just be pushing it, but weight will be in his favour in the 0 to 90, and obviously good luck to that one, Tim. And I'll just leave you with this.
Oh Call Me Blue is starting to eat up the ground. That's my runner. Come on, boy. Yes, Oh Call Me Blue hits the front in the last. Go on, boy. Oh Call Me Blue. Carlos is trying to challenge as well as Elusive Sylvanus, but come on. There we go. Oh Call Me Blue. Sorry, I got a bit excited there. That is my own runner there. Come on. Open the whiskey, lads. That's my first ever winner. Get in there, Oh Call Me Blue. You beautiful thing.
Brilliant stuff there from Tim and Stu. Let's get on with our racing now, and we'll see you again tomorrow.